You're on the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. We're in the midst of this COVID thing that's going on. There's a fallout in our education system. School districts that moved classrooms online early encountered challenges in trying to replicate a school day on a screen. One educator, Michelle Reed, superintendent of the North Shore School District in Seattle suburbs, said, quote, "Just taking everything we used to do and trying to wedge it into a new virtual reality is not a promising practice. It does not work." End of quote. See, the district shifted its focus to critical content on a project-based manner with both real-time learning and go-at-your-own-pace assignments. It appears parents are using existing online platforms designed to help educators. Reed says the district is contemplating consolidating educational tools so parents don't have to juggle different platforms. The reality is they don't like the idea that parents are going outside of their system to educate their children. Don't know what they're going to get or how it's going to integrate. OutSchool, a business that offers live online classes for kids, saw a spike in enrollment of children between 3 and 8 years of age. Those were the fastest growing. The CEO, Jeff Maggioncalda, I can't pronounce it, says the online platform has seen increased interest in courses for educators that aim to help make online teaching more engaging and effective. Demand for ed tech services has surged, as has interest in training for teachers. And all of this is driving a number of questions and a number of questions that educators weren't apparently ready to answer. So what's next? Well, Josh Golan, who's the executive director of the Campaign for a Commerce-Free Childhood, says school districts should vet and limit which products they use. We're going to have a real conversation about what are acceptable business models for ed tech. Because if we don't have those conversations, the business model is going to be advertising-funded education. They want to get control of it. Cincinnati's school district only is able to serve 10% of its 60,000 student meals because safety protocols required using smaller kitchens. It expects to lose $2.1 million on dining services from March 16th to May 22nd. Northborough Southborough Regional School District in Massachusetts usually ends each year with upwards of a $10,000 balance in its food services budget, but now anticipates a shortfall of between $50,000 and $75,000. New York City is funding its school meals program via the mayor's $170 million emergency food program. 5,000 Department of Education staffers have prepared and distributed 470,000 meals a day for 475 pickup sites. The USDA has not yet told school districts if they're allowed to continue feeding students and their families past June 30th, when the current waiver expires. The director of student dining services in Cincinnati says, "I'm stuck with having to tell my scholars, my families, my community that we can't be there for them." Also, people can't go to work if their young kids aren't cared for, but the unknown effects of COVID-19 on children and their role in transmitting it adds more worry about the risks. Researchers at Rutgers University released recommendations for slowly opening child care centers. It included taking the temperatures of parents, children, staff before entering a center or home provider, eliminating sign-in procedures that require touch screens or pens, staggering drop-off times and assigning staff to greet each child, using personal protective equipment and disinfecting equipment after each use. The reality here is that budget cuts pose a considerable threat to many state-funded preschool, pre-K programs. Low-income children, children of color, will be disproportionately impacted by these cuts. But it will also hurt more affluent kids if preschool goes virtual. Online preschool programs are cheap, but they have little impact on the learning that truly matters. This according to the senior co-director of Rutgers National Institute for Early Education Research. What is all this saying? All this is saying that parents are learning that they can teach their children at home, that they have other tools beside the public school system. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those parents keep their children at home. What makes it difficult is when mom and dad are both out working every day, something that was not the case before the 1960s. Parents had a system. Mom stayed home, dad went to work. Can't do that. Women are equal. Women are not equal. They are far superior to men. All men are good for is going to work and bringing money home. Not all men, generically speaking. It's the women who bear the children, raise the children, imprint the children, teach the children, guide the children, are tuned into those children. Fathers generally are not. There are exceptions. But not being with the child all day changes how you treat that child, how you respond to that child, how that child responds to you. I think maybe we're in for some kind of a switch. Not across the board, but in some homes. And I think it would be a healthy switch. Parents are learning that there is a lot of stuff out there they can tap into, much of which doesn't even cost anything. They can teach their children. And the public school system is set up in such a way that even if your child is not enrolled there, they can still take advantage of all the extracurricular activities that go on. It's a win-win, folks. And the children are at stake.